Hey, what's going on? It's Mando Crusader, and welcome to another MTGA video. Today, we're stepping out of Historic, for the first time in quite a while for me, and we're heading into Standard with a deck that I've been wanting to build for quite some time. That being Yund Werewolves. I really like Werewolves. I really like the archetype. I like it thematically and aesthetically. I've always been, personally, like my pop culture tastes have always been more of a werewolf guy than like a vampire guy. Although I do love vampires just the same. But, yeah, I've wanted to make this deck for a while. I've been looking at, various deck lists on and off, trying to formulate in my head what I think the ideal deck list would be. And, this is what I came up with. So, we're gonna go over that. If you don't care about any of that, you just want to see the matches, there should be a timestamp here somewhere on the screen that you can go to. That will take you straight to those. Before you do that, though, I just would like to kindly request that if you like this video and this content, be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Also, be sure to comment below in the comments, your thoughts on this deck. What would you change? Is the idea generally good? Should I have just stuck to Gruul? Let me know. I wanna hear your thoughts on this. So, yeah, basically, this is, well, it's a Werewolves deck, although it does have some changes from the typical werewolf formula that I have seen. Obviously, we're adding black, so we have black cards in the deck. Riveting, only the best insights on this channel. But no, most werewolf decks I've seen are usually Gruul, just running green-red. For good reason, that's where a lot of the best cards are. However, I think that Yund has a lot of really good benefits. Mainly, the increased removal suite in Infernal Grasp and Bloodchief's Thirst. It really allows us to, clear the field if necessary, get rid of our opponent's dangerous creatures, which there are a lot of in this standard. There's Azeka's Chariot, the tokens from Ren and 6, Goldspan Dragon. So it allows us to take care of those better. It allows us to play Graveyard Trespasser, which is not only just a really nice card, a 3/3 for 3 mana, which can turn into a 4/4. And if your opponent wants to kill it, they have to discard a card. But in addition to that, it also acts as built-in graveyard hate for the deck. So that's really, really cool, especially considering the flashback card, which is the key component to the Izzet and Grixis Turns decks that are coming around. Or not coming around, but are around. And yeah, I think that's really, really good. I think that those are really compelling reasons to include black in the werewolf deck. Now this does come with some cuts. You'll notice that there is no werewolf pack leader in this deck. There's no reckless Stormseeker in this deck, and there's only 2 copies of Ranger class in this deck. So basically, the reason why I cut all of those cards is this isn't a pure aggro deck. The deck I've made isn't a pure aggro deck. A lot of the werewolf decks are pure aggro decks. This is not. If I had to describe this deck, I would call it aggro with a side of mid-range. You obviously want to be killing your opponent as quickly as possible, but this deck can go a little bit of distance. It can keep up a little bit. Again, with cards like Infernal Grasp, the removal suite, cards like Howl of the Hunt, it can go a little bit. It can keep pace just a little bit. And I think that makes this a touch more resilient. It obviously comes with its own weaknesses, but I think it can makes it a little bit more resilient. So, going over the other cards in the deck, we got 4 copies of Snarling Wolf, mainly because I wanted to play at least one drop, and this is the best in my opinion. It's 1 drop, 1/1, and it has an ability that it gets 2/2 until the end of turn for 2 mana. Which sort of plays into another underlying theme of this deck, which is playing things on your opponent's turn. So obviously, games of MTG are won if you get to spend your mana, but the big thing with Werewolves is if you want to transform the day to night to get all the benefits of your big powerful werewolves, you can't cast any spells for a turn. And obviously, that comes with a lot of big risks, and it's very inefficient. So, one of the things I wanted to do with this deck is sort of have things to do with our mana on that pivotal turn. So that's one of the reasons why I include Snarling Wolf, because we can use that mana to pump it in order to block or attack. It's why I included Howl of the Hunt, which I don't know why this isn't included in more werewolf decks, because I absolutely love it. It's a really nice combat trick, especially on the turn where you don't play any mana, so you're likely to have enough mana to play it. And it gives your creature +2/+2, it gives it vigilance, and if it's a wolf or werewolf, you get to untap it. That's like a bunch of really cool stuff. It has flash, and I really, really love this card. It's one of my personal, like, favorite cards in the deck, and it's just really nice. It saves you in a lot of situations. Moving back a little bit, I guess, going back to the 2 drops, we got 3 copies of Outland Liberator. This is not only a nice little 2-drop werewolf to start the day-night cycle early, but it also can destroy artifacts and enchantments. So this can hit your Zika's Chariots, mainly your not Zika's. What am I talking about? Eska's Chariot. It hits that. That's the main thing you're gonna want to be hitting with this, right? And it does it for 1 mana, or if it's transformed, it does it every time it attacks. So that's really cool. You got 2 copies of Ranger Class. This is more mana investment on the pivotal flip turn that you can do. It puts a body on the battlefield. Whenever you attack, put a 1/1 counter on each attacking creature. All for 2 mana. I mean, technically 4 mana for the last one, but it's just obviously a really good card. You could probably play 4 copies. I probably should play 4 copies, but I found 2 is usually enough. 4 copies of Kessig Naturalist. This is your Werewolf Lord. Other wolves and werewolves you control get +1/+1 when it's flipped, so that's really, really nice. Additionally, whenever it attacks, you get to add a mana to your mana pool that doesn't go away until the end of turn. So that's extremely nice. So it helps you ramp a little bit. It makes all of your other creatures, because every other creature in the deck is a wolf or werewolf, so it makes all of your other creatures more powerful. It helps you ramp just a little bit. It's just a generally great card. You always want to be playing 4 of these. You got 3 copies of Unnatural Moonrise. This is your sort of emergency make it night button. And it gives any creature you control +1/+0 and trample, and if it deals damage up to a player, draw a card. So this acts as card advantage, it acts as a buff, and it allows you to make it night so that all of your creatures are more powerful. In the 3-drop slot, I can't speak today. In the 3-drop slot, we've already gone over Graveyard Trespasser. It's your built-in graveyard hate. It's really, really good. I also played 2 copies of Shady Traveler, because once it's transformed, it's a 4/4 with Menace for 3 mana, and I just find it's really, really nice to have a big old Menace creature on the field. It helps you get in more damage than you sometimes should, so that's why I like it. We got 2 copies of Bird Admirer. The reason I play this card over other probably better options is because I personally like that it gives us another answer to Goldspan Dragon if we don't draw any of our removal. Because when it's transformed, Bird Admirer, or when it's transformed, I should say, Wing Shredder, it can block Goldspan Dragon, and it can live. It lives while blocking Goldspan Dragon. So this is sort of like our one of our anti-Goldspan Dragon cards, and because obviously that's a really big creature in the meta right now, one of the best creatures in Standard. So yeah, that's why I included this. I already went over Howl of the Hunt. We got 2 copies of Tovolar, Dire Overlord. This is your card advantage engine. Whenever a wolf or werewolf you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. It also helps it become Knight better, because at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more wolves and or werewolves, it becomes Knight. So that's obviously really, really great. And when it's transformed, you can also buff a single werewolf as well. So that's all great, good stuff. Finally, we got 3 copies of Arlen the Pack's Hope. This is our werewolf planeswalker. Until your next turn, we can, I mean, I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but it's really great when it's transformed. It's a really, really good beater. It becomes a 5/5 werewolf creature with trample, indestructible, and haste, for 0. So you don't have to minus it at all. The plus when it's transformed gives you more mana, so you can ramp better. And the best part about it, in my opinion, is it's +1 when it's not transformed, which is until your next turn, you may cast creature spells as though they had flash, and each creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Like I said before, this helps us use our mana on the pivotal turn where we can't play any spells in order to transform our werewolves. So that just really, really helps with that and sort of plays into that whole theme that's going, not theme, but sub-theme that I had going on with, again, cards like Howl of the Hunt and Ranger Class and Snarling Wolf. Just being able to use our mana. Finally, we have the mana base. It's not as scuffed as my mana bases that for decks that I test normally are. It probably has more basics than it should have, but you know, what can you do, right? We got 3 swamps, 3 mountains, 3 forests, 1 Hive of the Eye Tyrant, 1 Den of the Bugbear, 2 Blightstep pathways, 2 Darkboar pathways, 2 Crag Crown pathways, 2 Haunted Ridge, 2 Rockfall Vales, and 2 Field of Ruin, just in case we get the book combo. Always just nice to pack in this Standard. So, yeah, that's the deck. I did a little bit of play testing with it before I made this video. It's super fun to play, and I can't wait to show it off in matches. So, yeah, with all that said and done, let's get into some of those matches, and let's see how well it does. Alright. Alright. So, let's see here. Where is our hand? I can't play without a hand. Right. Well, it looks like the game is loading here, so I'll cut back when I get my hand. we are. Alright. This actually looks like a pretty good opening hand. We got one of each of our colors of mana here. No one drop, but we do get Infernal Grasp. Actually, there is a one drop, but, although we still can't play it because of Rockfall Veil. But we will be. It's a little bit of a slow start, but I think we'll be fine. Especially because it looks like our opponent is a little bit slow as well with the Spikefield Cave. And this will allow our Rockfall Veil to come in untapped, and then we can start playing cards. So we'll put out our Ranger class. I would really like an extra land. And it looks like our opponent is playing Boros. There's the Sacred Fire. Probably up. Moonveil Region. I'm just going to Infernal Grasp that. And throw out Snarling Wolf. And I would really like a fourth land. That would be really nice. Alright. Looks like we're going with a bit of a burn theme, or at least our opponent is. Let's see. I think Graveyard Trespasser may be in order. Get rid of the Sacred Fire. We could have taken the Moonveil Regent in order to deal damage and heal a life, but taking that Sacred Fire is so much more important. So much more important. Alright, so our opponent is definitely playing Burn, which means we're on a bit of a clock, but I think we should be fine. Those, of course, being the ever-famous last words. Up our Ranger class. Attack with our Graveyard Trespasser. Kill the Moonveil Regent. And start bringing our opponent down a little bit. Sacred Fires and Shocks. Let's see. He's running out of cards in hand, which is good for us. That's not quite good for us, I must admit. Right. Let's put out Tolvar. And take the Sacred Fire again. And draw a card. And we now have blocker for this Shattered Skull Charger. Opponent's got 1 card left in hand. I am absolutely willing to block that. And... alright. I think we might have just won the game. Activate Arlen the Moon's Prey. Take the creature, which will deal the damage, and win the game. Just that easy. It looked a little dicey there for a second, I'm not gonna lie, but we pulled through. We pulled through in the end, and that's all that matters. Alright. Alright, let's see here. All 3 mana colors. Good start. We got 2 Infernal Grasps. Only 1 creature. It's mildly concerning, but I think we'll make it through. If they play anything too concerning, we can just Infernal Grasp it right away. That is incredibly concerning. Let's put out our Kessig Naturalist. And hope it survives. Alright, not only does it survive, it survives very well, apparently. It gets to transform. I don't know why our opponent didn't play anything, unless they just couldn't. Let's see. What is our opponent going to do? We can Infernal Grasp any creature they play. Meteor Swarm. The Wing Shredder. Interesting. Fascinating, even. I'm actually not going to play anything this turn. We have cards that we can play next turn. Well, on our opponent's turn. I think we're just going to do that. I have a feeling they killed the Wing Shredder because they're bringing out Goldspan this turn. Which was the whole point why I brought out, why I include the Bird Admirer. Oh, didn't want to do that. Okay. Seize the Storm. Bring out Shady Traveler. We have lethal next turn if we can protect it. Let's see what our opponent plays. Another Meteor Swarm? Definitely another Meteor Swarm. Alright. As we draw pretty much nothing but land. Giving our opponent 2 turns to just do whatever they want. Probably killing Stalking Predator on this turn. Or they're going to create that big elemental token with Seize the Storm. One of those 2 options, more than likely. No, they definitely got another one. Another Meteor Swarm. Meanwhile, we get Infernal Grasp. Apparently, we don't have any creatures in our deck. It's mildly concerning. For Telecard. We do get to play Graveyard Trespasser. Cast Electric Revelation. Let's see. We will take Smoldering Egg and Seize the Storm, giving us lethal next turn. Although they probably have their 4th Meteor Swarm in hand. Oh, they have Demon Bolt. That is what they foretold. And they discard a Thermo Alchemist. So we have lethal next turn if our Den of the Bugbear can survive. And that's game. Alright, I will take that. Alright. What we got here? This is a Maul. You sort of need that green source to hand like this. This is a keep. This is an absolute keep right here. I think we're gonna bin Howl the Hunt. And go from there. Get out Snarling Wolf. Get out Ranger class. Our opponent is playing Golgari, it looks like. Okay. I guess we'll get rid of Arlen the Pack's Hope. And instead play out Shady Traveler. Another Acquisitions Expert. Just attack all. And kill one of their acquisition experts. Swing for 6. And our Stalking Predator is probably getting Infernal Grasp, if I had to guess. No, being flunked. our Outland Liberator. Let's see, is he gonna block it? No, he's going to flunk that one too. I wonder how many flunks he has in his hand. Tigrid, God of the Fright. And, I mean, yeah. Pretty much over, isn't it? Elderfang Disciple. Playing a little bit of, green, blue, black discard. It'd be really, really nice if, I had Infernal Grasp right about now. But we know we're getting a Ranger class. Put 2+1/+1 counters on our Outland Liberator, or Frenzy Trap Breaker, as it were. Skull Raid. Our opponent gets himself some card advantage. Start venturing into the dungeon. Looks like our Frenzied Trap Breaker is going to be continually tapped. Yep. Love the fact that absolutely no creatures on the top of our deck. Destroy that 50 feet of rope. Get rid of that Acquisitions Expert. And now we've got a big ol'... Well, actually, we can't block because of... We couldn't block because of Menace. But still, that Howl of the Hunt, again, like I said before, that Howl of the Hunt comes in clutch so many times. I really don't know why it isn't in more, werewolf deck builds. I really don't.